When I go into the prone position, what we're looking at are three different things. So first, I'm going to put one wedge perpendicularly underneath what I call the anterior protruding ribs. And it's usually with the side of the concavity or the winging shoulder because there's a depression through the whole rib cage on that area. But remember, you have to always look at your client because it may not be exactly that. Then also from here, I'm going to put it underneath my right pelvis to help me because I tend to rotate forward in the transverse plane here. And then I'm also pulled forward. So the second one is just which pelvis would be lighter toward the floor or going down toward the floor more. And then the next part is that we're looking from the gluteals in the back. Now, because I have also some left hip issues, it tends to be a left anterior innominate, and that tends to go with a pelvic obliquity, but it tends to make my left buttocks look higher. So you want to look at the level of the gluteals and then also the smile lines. So the smile lines are the smiling between the gluteals to the hamstrings. So we want to see the engagement. For me, on the right pelvic side, there tends to be less gluteal tone on the right, and so I'm actually trying to turn that on. So the purpose of putting the wedges underneath the left concave side especially is going to help to lift up the rib cage to get the multifidi to engage better. And then also when I put it underneath my right pelvis, once again, then it's actually going to stretch out my internal obliques, which is a great thing because then it will help my transverse abdominals to engage better. So now we're going to go down to the floor, now that you know what you're looking for, and we're going to start to place our wedges. Now I want to give you a little caveat here. When we go onto the prone position, many times when we see that our clients are having trouble with the actual lordosis of the back, that we'll put a pillow. In other of my DVDs, I've talked about putting a pillow underneath us. Actually, that we're trying not to do that here because we want to use the wedges and to use them as appropriately and accurately as we can. So what I'm going to do for the first exercise, and this sets us up for all of our prone exercises, is something I call the ice cube exercise. So we're not only showing you the placement of the wedges, but also just how to engage with the cues. So now as I go down to the floor, I'm going to put the left protruding rib, I'm going to put it perpendicularly, and then also for underneath my right ASIS. So you can see if I take those out, you can see that I'm actually kind of elevating. I can feel my right pelvis is elevated, my left rib cage and thorax is then depressed toward the floor. So you see that the wedges are going to help me to counteract that. And remember also, this is a clue for structural problems. Somehow I have some kind of a structural issue with my skeleton. Oh well. So look, here comes the right one underneath the ASIS, the left protruding ribs, and now my hands are going to go underneath my forehead. I'm going to tuck my toes. This is the first exercise. As I exhale out, I'm going to gently press my elbows into the floor. I'm going to lift my breastbone, and now I'm going to imagine I have an ice cube under my waist, and I'm trying to get away from it. I don't like that coldness, so my navel's pulling up against it, and see how it's helped to elevate my low back. And then from there, I have my thighs on the floor. I'm going to feel the smile lines. So now I'm anchoring through the smile lines. And now I can feel that I'm having trouble engaging through this right side. The wedge is giving me proprioception so I can press against it. And now I'm going to lengthen my legs. Now, I'm not just pushing the knees up by pressing into the quads. I'm actually hoping that my client will actually feel up in the hip extension and go up through the posterior pelvic floor to give that stability for the femur head to make its extension. And I'm going to stay there, breathe in, and exhale out.